January 26, 2020 has gone down as will forever be one of the darkest days in NBA history. It was a day that we can all probably remember where we were, what we were doing, and who we were with the moment we found out Kobe Bryant passed away. A single day that changed the basketball world forever, and a sad and uncomfortable one for fans across the world, and especially for players that had to play on that same very day. On that day and the days following, as the reality of Kobe's passing set in, we saw players from teams across the league break down before and during games. Austin Rivers, PJ Tucker, Tyson Chandler, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Trae Young, Doc Rivers, Dwayne Wade, Larry Nance Jr., Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, Tracy McGrady, Michael Jordan, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. LeBron was also in tears while giving his speech during the Lakers memorial that they held for Kobe, and also before their game during the national anthem. And he should have been, just one day before his passing. No, actually about 12 hours before it. Kobe and his daughter were sitting courtside, watching LeBron pass him on the all-time scoring list. They gave a quick hug, and now this picture is worth a million words. A picture that shows the type of guy Kobe was, being happy and congratulating James for breaking a milestone that Bryant worked so hard to achieve. A picture that is one of the last ever taken of him alive. And more importantly, a picture that shows the friendship that these two had with one another. And their relationship started out different at first. As a kid, Michael Jordan was always LeBron's favorite player, and Kobe was just coming into the league when he was young. But by the time James was dominating in high school, Kobe started winning championships with Shaq, and he became an idol to LeBron. The relationship first officially started when Kobe attended one of LeBron's highly publicized basketball tournaments and gave him a pair of his shoes. LeBron said they were one size too small, but he was so excited that he still wore them to his game the next night. And that was a big night for him, and from that point on, he started to look up to Kobe. With him even saying that Bryant was the reason that he actually decided to make the jump to the NBA straight out of high school. But the two didn't really ever form an actual relationship until years later during the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Up until that point, they had never really been around each other. We know Kobe wasn't the kind of guy to hang out with any of his competition. So even though they had a mutual respect, they practically didn't know one another. But they became friends in 2008, got even closer in the 2012 Olympics once that came around, shared a great moment in the 2013 All-Star game, and LeBron has admitted that he idolized Kobe the whole time they were in the league together. Watching Kobe and his work ethic inspired him to get better and be better. And by the time Kobe was about to retire in 2016, he admitted that him and James got a lot closer and talk a lot more than people actually knew, and their relationship continued to grow even more once LeBron joined the Lakers. Let's not forget about Anthony Davis either though. His relationship with Kobe hasn't been well publicized at all, but the two were definitely close. Now while LeBron James was also Anthony Davis's favorite player growing up, Kobe was always a close second, and their relationship started in the 2012 Olympics, where Kobe saw a lot of potential on a young 19-year-old who had yet to play in an NBA game. So he walked up to Anthony Davis and his family and told his parents not to worry about their son because Kobe was taking him under his wing for the entire Olympics. And that's what he did. Everywhere Bryant went, Davis went. And from that point on, they kept in touch. Every season they would text all year long, and before Pelicans games, Kobe would search out AD's parents and give them a hug before every game. And anytime Anthony needed help, Kobe was there. So then you fast forward to 2020.
Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash. News reports are just coming in.
The next day, with an emotional message, LeBron promises to continue his legacy. And given both of these men's history with Kobe Bryant, along with a locker room full of other guys who have all either interacted with him or looked up to him for years, there was no way that that team was gonna let him down. There was no way that they would let another team win the NBA championship when they had the special opportunity to win it in his honor. And at the beginning of this year, Kobe Bryant actually told the Lakers that they were gonna win the championship. So at this point, there was no way that they could let him down. So they got to work.
Kobe, 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 Kobe.
And there were signs all year long that he was with them and that they were playing with him on their mind. February 9th, 2020. On the 19th anniversary of Kobe Bryant doing this dunk, the Lakers have a game. LeBron gets the ball on a fast break, and it hits the exact same dunk on the same day on the same exact basket 19 years later. After the game, he said he had seen Kobe do that dunk before, but he had no idea it was the anniversary of it, and that he had never even tried dunking like that before. So he said, "Kobe came down, put himself in my body, and gave me that dunk on that break." August 24th, 2020. 8/24, known by NBA fans for years as Kobe Bryant Day. But the first one without him hit different. And during their game that night, the Lakers wore their black Mamba jerseys in his honor. Early on, KCP hits a layup and gets fouled to put them up 24-8, the number of Kobe's 2 jerseys, on his day. And with there being a foul, it gave everyone a minute to look up to the scoreboard and enjoy it. And when LeBron did that, he said, "When I looked up and saw we were up 24-8, I was like, okay, he's here in the building." September 20th, 2020. In a playoff game against the Nuggets tied 103-102, Anthony Davis yells Kobe as he hits a buzzer-beating three-pointer to win their game over the Denver Nuggets. Not to mention they also went 4-1 while wearing those black Mamba jerseys throughout the year. But then they move on to the NBA Finals, and even though they were expected to win that series, they did, and Anthony Davis averaged 25, 11, and 2 on 57% from shooting and 48% from 3, while LeBron averaged 30, 11, and 8 on 59% shooting. And these were all numbers expected of both men, but if you've seen my 6 games after the death of a loved one video, you know that maybe this season, this championship, and this finals MVP weren't just skill from LeBron and Anthony Davis, because there was another motivating factor. When players play after the passing of a loved one, something happens that makes them play unexplainably better to the point where nothing can stop them, and nothing stopped the Los Angeles Lakers this year, and it drew strong similarities to Michael Jordan's Father's Day game. So to refresh your memory, Michael Jordan's father passed in July of 1993, causing him to retire for a couple of years. Well, on June 16th, 1996, MJ was back and found himself in Game 6 of the NBA Finals, up 3-2 against the Seattle Supersonics on what just happened to be Father's Day. Well, Jordan scored 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists, won the game, and won his first championship since losing his father on Father's Day, creating one of the most iconic pictures ever. I mean, what were the chances that the Bulls won that championship on a Father's Day given MJ's situation? And also, it's safe to say him playing in honor of his dad really allowed him to be great that night, and it was a big part of his legacy, just like this year is and should be a big part of LeBron's legacy. He won the NBA championship in honor of losing one of his closest friends, and as a whole, there could really be no better way for this season to have ended. A lot of people bet against the Lakers, even I wasn't sure if they'd win at all, but looking back, knowing that they were playing for Kobe Bryant, there was no way anybody should have bet against them, because there's no way they could have lost given their situation. And because LeBron James and Anthony Davis were able to lead them to victory this year specifically, LeBron was able to fulfill his promise to his close friend after all, and capped it off with an Instagram post saying, "Hope I made you proud, my brother. Love and miss you, champ." And that's a great story to have with LeBron's NBA career. As for the Lakers organization, the fans, and even other players, the year's been tough, but knowing the title was won in honor of number 24 makes things hurt a little bit less. And as for the legacy of Kobe Bryant, things shouldn't have ended the way they did, but since they did, when thinking back about his own legacy and his life, it's nice to know that the team didn't let him down. But the only thing that would make things better would be a three-peat.